Morning. So a small change of scene for you. I'm in the storage container today. I thought finally going to start gluing the roof light together. It's going to take some time because I've only got one set of clamps, and I've got at least at the moment I've got at least three right angles, well not squares, three rectangles to put together. So it's going to take, and given they've got to dry overnight, it's going to take a few days, but it does feel good to be getting on with it. So first thing is the actual main frame, and because everything is going to sort of sit on top with that. So I'm just using regular PVA glue, and I've also got some filler. There are some nasty knots that I'm going to have to sort out. I've also made some filler up by mixing some of the sawdust with the PVA, which is kind of the old school method. Which, if there are any terrible gaps in the actual joints per se, I tend to cover them up with that. So let's see. Afternoon. Well, the frame has been now glued, and as a result, I can only, as I said, do one at a time because I've only got one set of frame clamps. So it's going to take me several days to sort of work through that process of gluing the three rectangles together. So in the meantime, I'm going to try and start putting my head towards how to do the doors and the hatches. The front door is the most urgent one, and that's because the boat is at a tilt now, purposely so. They do that because, I mean, generally when it's in the water with the engine etc. at the back, unless you're absolutely perfectly level, and depending on the level of the water tank, of course, you generally are the bow is generally a bit higher. I guess this is quite a thing. Anyway, the problem is the way that these doors are now. I don't want to slur Coldcraft in any way because they are a long-standing builder with a very good reputation. But the issue is that have these flat doors, and when they come at this, it just rains, and then the rain falls down here and then onto this sort of ledge, and because it's tilting, then just pours into the boat, which isn't great. So until now, I've had a tarpaulin sort of over half this that I've been trying to just keep it out, but that's not sustainable, and it's a bit of an annoyance. Anyway, I need to have a good think about that. I mean, despite what anybody may think, well, it should be pretty obvious that I'm making this as I go along, and while I've got some kind of general idea where I might need to get to, the actual details of how I get there are something I have no idea, and I need to think how to do all these things. It'd be great if there was a detailed instruction manual, but I guess the problem is every boat from every manufacturer is slightly different, and so it's not like you can get a manual for a Haynes manual for a Ford Focus or something. They're all different. So yeah, I have of the books I've got, they're all very, very much general guidelines and just says line out the doors. Well, that's not so helpful, I know that. Anyway, so I guess I'll have to do a bit of head scratching and think the best way to do this. Morning. Well, it's about 3 days later now since the last shot of video, and it's been a bit of a roller coaster. So yeah, I spoke to you on Wednesday, and I spent the rest of the afternoon pondering about how to do the sort of the door lining. And as I mentioned, it's one of these things. I'm so paranoid of just doing the wrong thing, and then it all being a leaky mess. When it actually gets into real life, I sort of get paralysed about what to do. So anyway, on Thursday, I got up and just thought I just need to start going for it. So I started cutting up lots of wood, and then I had to go to Dear Old Screwfix to pick up some aluminium angle, which proved to be wrong because in the end my design was ended up not quite as I expected, so it's a wrong shape. But luckily I'll return it because that stuff's expensive now. And then I was feeling quite good on Thursday, and I'd just finished. I'd got charged, and then I was cleaning up for the day, and I just picked my phone up, and then obviously I saw the absolutely devastating news about the Majesty of the Queen dying, and that's actually just thrown me for an absolute loop. To be honest, I'm absolutely devastated. But yeah, I mean, who knew it was going to happen, but still absolutely shocked. Just as for lots of us, it's just her. She's been a constant in my entire life, and not just a marvellous leader. I mean, she's been in my perspective, she's not just a leader, she's been part of the fabric of Britain, and when everything has gone absolutely, things have gone quite rubbish sometimes recently, and you could always thought, well, at least there was Queen Elizabeth there, above it all, representing us in the world, and not looking totally stupid. Anyway, I had to just push on with that, and after moping around for some point, so I'd done some more cutting yesterday, back and forth between the router table and the table saw. The problem of having everything, all those inserts and things, it's great, that work centre, but it does mean that if you do some sawing, then you want to do some routering, so you have to take it apart and put it back in, and then oh shit, I need to do some. You need to do some sawing, so then it's back in and everything. So you do have to try and think carefully. Anyway, I did quite a bit of sawing yesterday. I'm going to spend the morning doing some more sawing. And then it's going to be, hopefully the weather should be dry today, so it's going to be an awful lot of rough wood. I've been using the old battens that I got, well, not old battens, but I've got quite a bit of the wood I bought for the rough, sort of just rough sawn wood. So I've been using that, and I'm using the planer that I've got to plane it down where necessary and get a better finish. But it still needs to be sanded off in some parts. So that will be today, and been waiting for a dry day. It's been raining quite heavily the last few days. Although I've got the polythene curtain, which is doing quite a good job of actually keeping all the wood dust into one section of boat outside of the living area. But with sanding, I know it does go everywhere. So if I can, I'm going to do it outside. Anyway, I'm going to procrastinate with a second cup of tea and then get to it, and I might check in later. Bye. It starts raining. Hopefully it looks quite nice and blue over there, but yeah, I said I seem to be doomed. As soon as I bring wood out, it becomes dark skies and rain. Well, third time lucky, and hopefully the rain will keep away now. Although I have to say, I wouldn't be too unhappy if I was forced not to do this. I think I'd rather have I'm approaching this without the much enthusiasm if that was a large pile of ironing rather than a large pile of sanding, but oh well. Happily, some of the quite a few of the faces are never going to be seen the light of day once installed, so I won't be really bothering with those. It's just to concentrate on the bits that will be exposed when, well, we don't see them exposed, but will need to be painted. So hopefully it's not quite as tedious amount there as it looks. Well, Stephen's Cottage sawmill is closing for the day. It actually wasn't as bad as I thought. It was boring, but actually, with the mood I'm in, to have some constructive sort of monotony, I had some headphones in with some good music and just some repetitive dull task for a few hours to take my mind off things was actually just the ticket, and it's also great to get that, like any dull job, it's always good to get it out of the way. Not that I've finished. I was hoping to actually start sanding the roof light parts as well, but alas, I'm stopping now. I'm looking. If you look in the sky in the back, I suspect that any moment now the rain is going to. I had a good afternoon weather-wise, but I think the rain is about to revisit us. So I think it's time to get inside and get some dinner ready. Anyway, catch you later. Well, the rain's just got here, but it's almost worth it for that lovely rainbow, which has cheated me up quite a bit. Well, it's another successful day in business for Stephen's sawmill and sanding shop. So I've, as you know, saw very quickly, I've sanded off the some of the joints on the roof light. Basically, my mortise and joints weren't bang on, and there was a couple of a mil bump in some of them. So I wanted to sand that off so there isn't any sort of traps of water. I also, this morning before I came out, while the weather was still a bit yucky, I cut up a load of wood which is behind me, and that's hopefully, well, that is what I'm going to use to try and line out the hatches on the side as well. So now, more or less, there's a little bit more, but I've cut most of the wood for the front bulkhead and door and the side hatches. The back hatch in the stern is not even to be considered yet. We'll work our way through. So that's good. And the weather, I have to say, the weather's been much better than forecast. It was supposed to be raining all weekend, and both afternoons have been very pleasant. In fact, really nice. You can see I've had to warm enough that I've had to take my coverall top off, which has been a blessing. If only if we're able to work outside. I mean, it's much better trying to do this sanding outside, not just for the dust, but for the noise as well. Anyway, so yeah, not sure much to get done tomorrow. My friend Summer's coming to take me out to lunch. I think she was a bit concerned. I was feeling a bit down in the dumps this weekend, so it wasn't planned. She just said yesterday, are you available? So yes, I am. So that's very nice. So let's see how much I get done tomorrow. But and regardless, looking forward to the visit of Summer. Catch you later. A quick PS as well before I go. I'm not going to apologise for grieving for our dear late Queen Elizabeth. I mean, it's really cut me up, but I do apologise for moping around in the, well, not moping around, but I know I haven't been as perky as I normally am in the last few videos, and so please bear with me. As they say, normal service will be resumed very, very shortly, and I will be back to my true self. I know that you're not tuning into these videos to watch a middle-aged man moping around, and you will not be. So, anyway, see you soon.